we're going to see if we can have the long edge of the mat being the front. And we're just going to start with a little bit of turning the arm, turning the shoulders. We're just reaching and twisting. So we go up the front and down the back. And then see if you can go even bigger. So you up across the front and then down across the back. So you're just trying to twist into the body maybe one more time to get that arm reaching and circling around. And then we try the same on the other one. So we're going up the front and turning a bit the body down, the back down behind, and then taking it even bigger up across the front. Just trying to twist through the spine, down across the back. So allowing the body to turn and maybe just the feet to stay grounded. And adding a little breath to that. And then we're going to see, can we come back to the right hand? And as we come the right hand, we're going to see the right foot to come onto the tiptoes. And then the right hand to come down the back, and the right foot to come across. We're going to reach into what I call bowler. So reaching forward the hand and the left foot both reaching in the same direction, that right foot reaching behind, and that left hand reaching behind as well to twist and roll the spine. And then we see, can we find our way back? And we do the same on the other side. Left hand, left foot coming off the floor. And we come into this action I call bowler. So we're seeing if we can reach that left foot nice and light on the floor, left hand reaching forward, right hand reaching behind to help rotate the spine on its axis. And then we find our way all the way back up. Start all over again. Right hand into both. Big circle with the right hand. The left hand is reaching behind. And then we're going to add to this our speed skater. So we start with both hands over the left. And then we bring both feet to the front. And we push the left leg and hands over to the right side. We find the same back through center. And push hands and leg out behind. And then slowly from here, we find our way all the way back up to start again. So we've got the left hand reaching tall, bowler. This left foot comes across, hand comes forwards. And a lot of cross-body movement can get really confusing. So then we just see how best we can do. So both hands to the right. We've got both our speed skaters, and we come up and across. And we come back and across. So the hands and the leg reaching behind both go to the same side. And then we find our way one more time back into that right hand bowler. So we've got bowler, right hand forwards, right leg across behind. And then both hands reach across the body. And we come back to the center, speed skater, imagining you're pushing ice and air behind you. And from here, we go into our combo. We lean into the back foot and try to stretch into the back foot. Let's reach that right hand up nice and tall as well. And we're trying to twist over that left shoulder and see how much we can turn the spine, turn the body as we reach, as we extend. And breathe. And then we start all over again. So we build the understanding of the sequence. Left hand bowler. Big circle. Both hands to the right, ready for speed skater. We find our way up. I like to work that with the breath, really exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhaling, pushing, reaching. And then it's a transfer of weight for the combo. We try to ground that back heel. Left hand tool, twisting to that right side. And breathing here, finding as much extension. Maybe the shoulders can come broad. Extending, reaching and twisting to look over that right shoulder. And we start all over again. Right hand, bowler. Speed skate. And back. We lean into the back foot. And find that extension up and tall and twisting to the left side. And then from here, we see if we can curtsy. So we find back foot to the tiptoes, staying upright through the spine. We sit down nice and deep. You're just trying to be strong through the legs and upright. How deep can you get the back knee towards the floor without collapsing down on it? Breathing, trying to tool through the spine, strong through those legs, and then all the way back. And we start all over again. Left hand, bowler. Speed skater. And calm breath. Leaning into the back heel, reaching tool and twisting across that front leg. And then ready for curtsy, the back foot onto tiptoes. And how deep can you sit down? Bend those knees. How deep can you drop? We're staying upright through the spine. So great strength in the legs. Still trying to face forward. So if there was a mirror in front of you, you'd be facing directly towards, curtsying towards yourself. And then we find our way all the way back. And we go again. Right hand, bowler. Speed skater. So with the speed skater, we're really trying to roll the shoulders as well. So we're finding the head be facing forward, but the spine twisting. Then we see, can we find our back heel rooting down? Right arm tool for that comrade, twisting again. More so from the hips maybe. And then we find our way into our curtsy. So back foot to tiptoes, sitting deep. And then from our curtsy, I like to have the left hand on the back. We go into our bow to see how deep down we can go. This loads of weight into the front foot. And maybe you can bring that hand off the sacrum, off the back of the body too. Lengthen the back of the neck, bow down. Stretching, working deep into those legs. Breathing. Then we find our way all the way back up, rolling back up through the spine. Starting all over again. So left hand. Bowler. Speed skater. So it's really rolling the shoulders around the spine axis. And across. Rolling those shoulders. And again. Across. Reaching that left foot behind into the comrade. Grounding that back heel and twisting around that right side across the front leg. Curtsy. Staying upright. How deep can you go into the curtsy? And then bow. Head down, back of the neck long, lifting that back hand behind you. Again, how deep can you be in this bow? Really lengthening the back of the neck, pushing strong through those legs, deep through those legs. Right hand lifting off the back if you can. Deep breath. And then let's roll up and start all over again. So all of this is bringing us slowly down towards the floor. Let's go with that right hand. Bowl. And warming the body and twisting the body. Speed skater. Rolling the shoulders. Weight stays mostly in the front foot, that back foot hardly touching the floor. And back to the first side. And then we ground that back heel, reaching tall, reaching long. Lifting to the tiptoes again for our curtsy. Front foot stays rooted, and then our bow. So from our bow, we're going to see, can we now transition down to the floor? Opening the hands wide and just allow the back knee to come down across the body. Trying to keep that front left leg grounded as much as you can so it doesn't even turn here. So it's still facing forward. You're going to hug that left leg. You might use the left hand if it's tough. Or if you can, using that right elbow to hug in and to twist around. Still trying to keep that left foot on the floor. Trying to draw the left sit bones towards the floor if you could. And putting that leg into the body into the leg. And breathing. So even though we might be in a deep stretch here, seeing if this can be where we find our relaxation. This is where we find our relaxation, our breath. Our sense of recovery for energy for the standing work, the moving side to side, deep, sitting into the legs. And from here, we see if we can find our way back up to standing. We're going to bring the right hand down inside the left foot. You can use that right leg as much as you need to push off We are trying to stand on that left leg. So as soon as you can, you're pushing the left foot into the floor and then rolling back up through the spine so that we're ready to step down with the right leg and off we go on the other side straight away. Bowl. Speed skater, rolling that torso. And back. Got our cumbrae leaning into the back foot. Reaching, still twisting across that front leg. Curtsy. And then bow. Back of the neck roll. From here, we're going to bring those hands to the floor again. Second side, trying to keep that right foot grounded. Maybe the heel comes off the floor. Maybe the foot comes all the way off the floor. Right hip down, see if we can sit in, and then trying to hug that right knee, that right leg towards. Trying to turn. Breathing deeply. How much can you sort of draw the right hip down towards the floor without destabilizing the foot? Maybe even looking over that right shoulder. Taking the time and deep breath to allow the body to begin to open. And then from here, let's bring that left hand back down. When we're ready, we're coming back up to standing. We're trying to push that right foot into the floor, using everything else as much as we need, but as little as we can. So ideally, we're just coming up, standing on that right leg. Off we go again. Over. Left foot down, right hand, reaching across and forward. Speed skater. So we find both hands forward, left foot across behind, both hands to the right. And again. Here we reach into the combo. Curtsy. Bow. So here, as we come down to the floor, we're going to see, can we go a little deeper? So this time we're going to try to extend that right leg. As we sit down, we're going to take the left foot off the floor. It can be above that right knee, but if you can draw it up into the hip to a half lotus without pain in the knee, then do so. You see if we can hold onto that left knee with the right hand and twist. Again, across the bent leg. Gazing over the back shoulder and just trying to take a little time. If you do have a half lotus, you might use the left hand to try and bind that left foot behind the back. You can pull and push with two. If you don't have a half lotus, maybe you're just using those fingers on the floor, trying not to be too leaning, but trying to be as much as you can sitting up to lengthen the spine and twist over the back shoulder. And then from here, you're going to see, can we fold towards that right leg? See how deep down you can fall. And just finding your edge, wherever that is, not forcing your way through pain, just finding that place where the body gets stuck. And then taking some deep breaths, allowing that to release, allowing that to open. Maybe it's the back of the right leg, maybe it's something in the back or the left leg, the left hip. And then from here, we find our way back up through the spine. Let's paint a rainbow with the right hand. So reaching that right hand up and wide and down behind us. And then we're going to see, can we roll that left foot towards the floor? We're going to try to lift another rainbow with that left hand. We're trying to push strong through the right hand. Finding that lift and that extension through the top side of the body. Tall as you can, long as you can. Bottom arm, bottom shoulder, really pressing into the floor. How much can you banana the side, the spine in that side? Banana, breathing. And then from here, we're going to try to push that left foot all the way down into the floor. As we do, we're trying to ground the heel, trying to lift the bum, trying to pull in that right leg behind, trying to stand on that left leg to roll all the way back up through the spine. And up we go again, right foot down, left hand, bowler. Speed skate. Then we're grounding that left heel behind, reaching tall into the combrain, curtsy, and back. Again, we're bringing ourselves down into that deeper variation. So we're seeing, can we bring that left leg, left hip to the floor, right foot off the floor, and the right knee trying to relax down. Again, not forcing that leg too high, but if you can come up into that half lotus, then do. And we're seeing, can we twist across the bent right leg towards the right leg, reaching, breathing, twisting. So we don't want to be lifting the right knee up. We might be allowing that right knee down towards the floor as far as it will go. So twisting the spine, lengthening the spine. And then folding over that left. And from here we paint a rainbow. Big wide circle with that left hand, up and wide and behind. You can see, can we roll that right foot to the floor so that we can try to lift the hips up. Paint a second rainbow with that right hand, up and over and long. Banana the spine, reach and tall, push into that bottom hand. Try to bring the shoulder away from the ear. Nice and strong and powerful and breathing. And then can you try to ground that right heel down? Can you try to push into the right foot so that you can slide that left hand, that left leg in, and you can roll up on that right leg. And then we're back. We started again, left foot down. Right hand, hold on. Speed skate. And back. Hombre. Curtsy. Rolling it into that half lotus or expression thereof. So we repeat here, going into the twist, but maybe not quite as long this round. A few deep breaths. And we fold over that right leg, over the extended leg, as deep as we can. And allow the breath to be deep and full. When you're ready, painting a rainbow with the right hand. And then we're seeing, can we lift into our side plank? So absolutely using that left leg as much as you need to stretch up and over. Maybe you want to try to find, can I get my left leg off the floor in this position to find even more stability through that right side. Wherever we get to, we're twisting into the downward facing dog when we're ready to. So once we're in our downward facing dog, we want it to be quite long, so it's as long as a plank. So if we came forward with the shoulders, the legs could be straight, spine straight in a plank. And then we want to see, can we articulate the spine? So without bending the arms, without bending the legs if possible, we're going to see, can we curl the tail under? So we see shoulders are trying to keep us in that downward dog, but the hips are trying to push forwards towards an upward dog. And allow that to lift each part of the spine until you're lifting into the shoulders and lengthening into the front body, traveling as far as you can. And then try to lead with the tailbone to go backwards as well. So that now the head wants to stay in that upward dog, but the bum pulls back. So it's a good strong push through the shoulders to reach yourself all the way back. We see if we can do that 3 times, really trying to articulate and work every little joint in the spine, every bit of the spine, contributing to that roll forwards, hips trying to drive it forwards. Finally, the head decides to follow. And then on the way back again, the head is lazy, wants to stay where it is. The hips are pulling back. And you find, how do I coordinate those movements there? Find that long belly as I arrive back in the downward dog. And then one more time, head and shoulders trying to stay in that downward dog again as we roll nice and slow. Try not to be in a rush with these movements. You really want to feel strong through the entirety, all the way into your upward dog. With the arms, seeing if you can power through the inside line of the arms, you're grounding through the thumbs, through the base of the index finger. And then from here, once we arrive back in our downward facing dog, let's see if we can bring that left leg as high as we can, reaching it. So the left leg will be really heavy until you can reach it somewhere above the hips. Once you can get above the hips, it will become much lighter. Really reach and push that tool. Work on that strength, maybe onto the tiptoes of the right leg. Lengthen, if you can, open the heart, the chest, and lift that left leg as tall as you can. Breathing, stretching, and extending it out. Maybe you even open that left hip slightly, or if it's too strong, maybe even bending the knee to stretch that into the belly as well. And then from here, we're going to travel into a pigeon. So the pigeon will bring the left knee by the left hand, just behind the left hand, the left foot, maybe behind the right hand, or maybe just across the mat towards the right hip. And then we're going to see if we can sink down the hips as deep as we can. We're not sitting down. We're staying on that shin. Even if the bum gets close to the floor, you're trying to stay on that left shin as much as you can as you sit deep. And then we're trying to open into the front body. So I like to bring a hand onto the knee and the foot so I can support the spine, lift the spine more. And lift the shoulders out, open into the front body. And the back leg, trying to press the top of the ankle into the floor to see if you can even get the knee light or off the floor. So as you try to sit down nice and deep, you're really working that back leg, stretching through that right hip, stretching into the belly. And again, taking a little time to breathe and arrive here. Before, let's find our way down and forward. So folding over that left leg and seeing if we can drop down towards the elbows again, not sitting down on the left bum. Seeing if we can be folding equally, hips towards the floor, right hip to the floor as much as that left bum comes down. And here finding some surrender, deep breath and relaxing in. And then we're going to see, can we bend that back knee and point the toes up towards the ceiling? And can we find our way maybe up onto the hand? And we're going to try and think about twisting again across the body. So we maybe walk the hands towards the left side a little. We're going to see, can we grab that right foot with the opposite hand, with the left hand? If you can, you're going to see, can you try to push the right foot away against the hand? So you're trying to twist the spine to pull that left shoulder back, to twist that right shoulder across. You can look over the back shoulder even more so. Actively trying to straighten that back leg without letting go of the foot. And then maybe it's comfortable to come down a little deeper onto the elbows again. We're going to try and pull that left foot in towards the bum as deep as we can go. Trying to pull that foot in. And to breathe. And then from here, we'll just gently let go of that back leg. We're going to see if we can thread the needle. So we find our way up nice and tall. We're going to take the right hand wide, but still trying to keep that right hip forward as much as you can. And twist the spine open. And then see if you can bring the right arm through. So try to come underneath the left arm, and we want to try and get that right shoulder down to the floor. So do whatever you can to get the right shoulder down to the floor. Maybe you're pushing off that left hand to rotate the spine around its axis. Compress on the back of the right arm to help as well. If that shoulder's down, you might be able to lift the left hand up and twist even more. Opening the spine, twisting the spine. And then from here, we're going to find our way all the way back. And we'll just release that pigeon for a moment, coming back into our downward facing dog to walk it all out. So if there's any pins and needlesy, nummy sort of sensation or just deep stretch still in the legs, just allow the movement to let that go. And we're going to see if we can go there one more time. So again, lifting the left leg, same side, left leg trying to reach it nice and high again. How tall can you reach? How much can you open the heart, the chest to reach that leg? Even taller. This stretch and strong. Right foot up on the tiptoes. Maybe engaging that right thigh muscle if you can. Reaching that left leg as far into your split as you can. And then one more time we arrive into our left leg in pigeon. So left knee forwards. Behind the hand. I like to slide the right foot slightly further back to go down deeper. Now this time we're going to see, is it possible to find those hands off the floor? So try to come up onto the knee and the foot with the hand. We don't have to worry so much about the back leg. We can leave the back knee resting down. We're going to see, can we begin to push into that left shin so that we can release the hands from the floor? We don't want it to hurt the back. So if it hurts the back, we're just going to lift the hips a bit higher so that we've got less extreme pull on the back. We're going to see how deep we can sit the hips. It can be nice to interlace the hands behind the back. See if you could open the heart, open the chest. If you need the hands on the floor for this, in front of you, can use them absolutely. Try to use them as light as possible. But if we can manage, see if you can fold forward with those hands, pulling behind the back. Maybe you can bow your head down to the floor, using that left leg to get you there, and trying to reach those hands off the back. Once you're forward, could be enough. Let's see if we can lift ourselves all the way back up. Can you keep those hands behind the back if possible and push off that left leg to find your way nice and tall. And then slowly from here, maybe we can even just take a little moment to bend that right knee and think about reaching the head towards the foot, trying to work that balance and that direction. Let's take a little moment to ground now down through the left bum, so we roll to the left side. Here we're going to try to open the back of the left knee, so bring that foot quite far forwards. So the knee is more open than 90 degrees. Pointing that left foot to the top corner of the mat. And the back leg, the inner ankle down to the floor. Here we're going to take the right hand to reach, or the opposite hand to reach towards that front foot. The left hand will be outside the knee to help fold the body down and forwards. Again, we're trying to get our belly down to face the floor. The forehead wants to curl in towards the knee, the shin, or one day towards that left ankle. You're folding in to breathe and surrender in. Open that lower back outside of the leg. From here, let's find our way back. See if we can place the hands down and lift ourselves up into our downward dog. And in our downward facing dog, we're going to be really lazy with the left leg. We're going to see, can we pull the left knee towards the chest so the left foot comes just a little bit forward. There's no effort in that part of the movement. And we toes to the floor, turn the heel towards the back of the mat, ground that heel to see if you can then push into the left leg to slide those hands in and to roll up through the spine, trying to be standing on that left leg as much as you can. And then we see if we can start all over again. So right foot down, left hand, Ola. And speed skater. Both hands to the front and both hands to the left and right foot across. And again. Both hands to the right side. So twisting across that front leg with the hands. The other side under it. With your hands. That's it. And then let's just go one more time each side. So we're going to end up with the right foot behind. Sorry, the left foot behind and the hands to the right side. Then from here we see, can we find left hand tool? We're seeing, can we twist and look over the right side? And then we find our way into our combre, our curtsy rather. So do you have the right leg in front? Is that your second side? That's the right leg in front. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Holding all the way down. We're coming down into that half lotus as much as we can. So extending the back leg, rolling the hip towards the floor, trying to lift that right foot off. Is this the second side for you, Andrew? Yeah, okay, good. We twist, 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 twist. Seeing if we can open that half lotus, twist in the half lotus. And then folding forwards over the front leg. Allowing the breath to be deep. Into rainbow when you're ready. Left hand reaching up and back and wide. And then we find our way up into that side plank. Nice and tall. Nice and long. Extending. Reaching. Here we're going to twist into our downward facing dog. As we get there, just having a little moment to walk it out. So in this downward dog, we're going to see, instead of wading through the spine, we're going to see if we can come down to the knees, then bring the bum to the heels. And we're going to try to work arms extending so the elbows don't reach the floor if possible. The hands are down. We're going to try and keep those elbows off the floor. We come forward with the chin nice and deep. And we see how deep can we work. We're trying to open the elbows wide, letting the bum in the air, nice and low. See if you can get all the way hips to the floor. And then we're rolling up through the spine, lengthening into that upward dog. And here, staying on the knees, but rolling the chin to the chest, and then seeing how much we can follow that movement to lift into the back body, so pushing strong through those arms to really round. Again, that articulation of spine until finally the hips follow. We arrive back at that extended child. We work it a few more times. Chin deep, elbows wide, open the heart, open the chest. Don't be in a rush, particularly through those difficult places. Don't be in a rush to come up either. Can you get the hips to the floor before you begin to lift up and tall through the spine and then lengthening into the front body? As far as you can, rolling, leading with the head to roll and move each part of the spine sequentially, lifting, rounding all the way into that extended child. And we'll work it one more time. Chin nice and deep, elbows nice and wide, open through that heart, through that chest, through the spine, hips to the floor, then lengthening up and tall. And then rolling, leading with the head, lifting into the upper neck, into the back of the heart, into that middle back, curling, rounding every part of the spine. This time as we arrive back, maybe we tuck the toes under so that we're ready to go up into our downward facing dog again. We lift up into our downward dog. Right leg, we want to reach it up towards the ceiling as tall as we can. Nice and tall and lifted and extended. And then try to get that right foot even taller, maybe up onto the tiptoes of the left leg to reach that right leg even higher. Try to open the shoulders, open the heart, the chest. Maybe you want to even bend that right knee to stretch the front of the thigh a little more, or twist and lengthen into the belly. And then from here, we're going to come into a pigeon. So right knee to the right hand, right foot across the body towards the hip or towards the left hand. Here we're trying to sink down through those hips as deep as we can, opening through the front spine. Again, if possible, I like to come up with the hands onto the front knee and the front foot to help lift the spine with support, lift the top of the spine with support. Back leg, seeing if you can maybe press into the top of the ankle to lift the knee, but trying to send those hips down. So it's trying to face with the hips, the side, the short edge of the mat, opening into the front spine, maybe even with the chin, with the tongue, and the eyes all lifting up and back. And then taking a bit of surrender moment forwards and down, belly towards the front calf. See if you can soften down as deep as you can towards the elbows, a deep pigeon surrender, working strong into the head. And using the breath to let the body open, the body go deeper. Let's see if we can find our way again up onto the hands. We'll bend the back knee, trying to pull the left foot up towards the ceiling as much as we can. And twisting the hands a little bit to the right side. So we're going to take the right hand to grab the left foot, if we can. So we're seeing, can we grab that foot? Once you've got the foot, can you try and push the foot back to twist the spine a little bit more? You're twisting that spine, trying to straighten the left leg, but not letting go with that right hand. Breathing, reaching. One day, maybe that left hand could get pulled off the floor, but we're trying to rotate the spine around its axis. And then see maybe if you can drop down to the left elbow and try and pull that back leg into the bum with the right hand as deep as you can. And then from here, we'll just take a bit of release. We come back into our down dog. Walk it all out, release and stretch and open, find any movement that you need. So you can get the legs nice and comfortable and happy from that deep pigeon work. And then we go one more time in when we're ready. So right leg again, reach and tool. How much can you open and stretch into that sort of down dog split, that reaching the leg as high as you can, as long as you can, maybe twisting, opening the hips, or rotating that right hip down to really square those hips and see if that makes a difference to how you feel in that standing there. And then we find our way into a pigeon again. And with this pigeon, we're seeing, we don't worry too much about lifting the back knee, but you can. We're trying to see, can we get up with the spine? Can we find that we can lift the hands off the floor? So remember, it pinches the back and lift the hips higher. With those hands off the floor, you can just keep them back, or you can try it into the legs. Try and open the heart, the chest, as you reach strong and long. If you need the hands on the floor, you can use the floor. Just trying to find out how to use that front leg to stay on the shin, to fold forward and bow forward. Maybe lift those hands off the back as you get there. And seeing if we can use that right leg to help lift the spine back up. How do you push off that foundation to come up nice and tall? And then from here, we're going to sit down onto the right bum. You can see, can we roll to the inner left ankle? Can we bring that right leg forwards nice and far? So the front leg is bent, little toes down to the floor, but back of the knee is close to straight. And we're seeing if we can bring the left hand to the right foot and fold the body in deep as you can. Forehead to the knee, the shin, eventually towards the ankle. Trying not to twist too much to the side, so even though we've rolled down the right arm to the floor, trying to drop that left shoulder down as deep as we can. And then let's slowly find our way back into our downward facing dog. Really lazy, bringing that right knee into the chest. So the foot comes no further than the middle of the mat. We see, can we rotate the heel to the back of the room? Pushing down into that right foot to hang the head, to slide in, to push and roll up through that right leg, nice and strong. And then we find our way back. We back to center. So left foot down, right hand, bowler. We go again. Speed skater. And back. Comrade. Cutsy. And back. Sitting into that half lotus. With twist to begin. And then with the fold over the extended leg. Painting a rainbow with the right hand. So the arm of the extended leg. Now, if you can manage, maybe you can lift up the hips without putting that left foot to the floor. If it needs to go to the floor, absolutely fine, let it down. Put the right hand down, the left leg bent, we're reaching tall. And then from here, twisting into our downward facing dog. And once we're in our downward facing dog, here we're going to glue the right hand to the floor. And we're going to see if we can, without lifting the feet off the floor, the heels can come up. We're not going to lift the feet off the floor. So we're pivoting on the feet to rotate, turning the toes to the left side. So we're twisting and turning, and we're going to sit down and see if we can bring our bum towards our heels as close as we can. And then from there, we're opening that left hand nice and wide to stretch across the chest, open into the front body. See if you can draw the right shoulder down and away from the ear. Lift and extend. And then from here, let's see if we can slide in the right hand and just allow the legs to cross at the shins. And we're going to see if we can fold forward. Folding over the legs as deep as you can. How far can you reach those hands forward? And surrender the spine down. And if it's okay to try to keep the legs crossed and see if you might be able to roll back into your shoulders. Welcome to support the back with the hand. Maybe you can find some variation where you release the hands from the back, which will put a little more pressure into the neck, so you don't have to do it. Lifting those feet as tall as you can. And then rolling back down through the spine. See if you can find your way back to seated cross-legged. If you manage to not uncross the legs with the right hand, to reach all the way back round, to paint that rainbow and twist back into that downward facing dog. We're going to try and pivot that again to same side, right hand rooted down. You see, can we twist? And this time we're going to try and take the right knee through beyond the left calf. So do the right leg a bit more first, and then we do the left heel. Here we're crossing above the thigh, above the knee, and seeing how deep down we can sit. Trying, if possible, to keep both feet towards the floor. So you're seeing to sit in nice and deep, and then we're going to try here to slide in to find our way into this cow face pose. So trying to allow the knees to be as crossed as they can. Twisting, if it's difficult, bring the feet closer towards the bum. If it's comfortable, eventually those shins might be sort of one straight line from each other. And we're just going to fold in towards those legs as deep as we can. Surrendering forward. So from here, if we can twist a little bit more around to the left side across that top leg. And maybe one day you're surrendering down towards the bottom right foot. Using the breath, deepening the breath. Let's roll our way all the way back round, twisting into that downward facing dog again. While we're in our downward facing dog, let's see if we can ground through that left hand and bring the right hand towards the back of the ankle, towards the back of the leg. Maybe the back of the knee. If you can reach down further, you can reach further down. Try and twist and rotate the shoulders so you keep the hips nice and level. So again, we're working on turning that spine, but strong through that left arm. And slowly from here, let's find our way all the way back through center. See if you can bring the left leg in just nice and lazy. Foot to the floor, turn the heel across the body so the toes are externally rotated. Push into that left foot and roll up through the spine. And ready to go again, right foot down and left hand, bowler. Speed skater. And back. Calm break. Curtsy. Bow. And down towards the half lotus. With the twist. And the fold. Right leg on top. And then we're seeing, can we paint a rainbow with that left hand? Big and wide and down. Can you find to lift the hips without putting that top leg, the bent leg on the floor? I like to bend the bottom leg and see if I can push then to lift up nice and tall. But if you need that top foot on the floor, absolutely fine. Bananaing through the body. Reaching, extending. Ultimately twisting into our downward facing dog. And then from here, gluing that left hand to the floor. Again, not lifting the feet off the floor, but just rotating on the ball of the feet. So the legs will cross at the shin. Try to sit down close. Turn the toes towards the right side. Sit down close towards the bum. So you're leaning a long way away from that left hand and trying to pull the shoulder blade down the back of the body, opening that right hand nice and wide. With the breath, open the chest if you can. And then from here, we see, can we slide that left hand in, legs staying crossed at the shin, see if we can fold forwards, reaching those hands as far forward as you can, rolling, surrendering forward and down. Letting the body open. For any reason, shoulder stands. And not for you, you might choose to stay here a little longer. We'll roll to the back and hug the legs into the chest. If you can manage, keep the legs crossed. As we find our way up to the shoulder stand, if you can, to support the back. You could find variations with the arms, seeing how tall you can lift the legs. And then whenever you're ready to, finding your way back down. If possible, back up to sitting. So we unravel to that left side, left hand reaching wide and behind, twisting into that downward facing dog again. And we're going to go one more time in that twist. So again, rooting that left hand down to the floor, turning the toes to the right side, but this time try to take the left knee through so the right foot heel comes in and we're seeing, can we cross above the knee? Trying to sit down nice and deep. So similar but slightly different. Now we've crossed above the knee, last time was below the knee. And then from here we see if we can slide in, trying to stay as tight as we can at the knees, sliding into that cow face pose. If you need to bring the feet a little closer or even sit on the bottom left foot, that's fine. If you can, to surrender the body forward over the legs, to bow the head forward and down. If there's possibility to twist even more towards that right side, maybe folding towards the left foot, pulling the right arm on that left leg. Let's see if we can unravel again, twisting back into a downward facing dog. As we get there, we're going to see, can we root that right hand down towards the floor? Glue the right hand with the left hand. We're seeing, can we grab hold of the back of the right knee, or if we possible, sliding down as far as the heel even. We're trying to push with that right hand strong, pull with that left hand. Trying to rotate the spine around its axis at the shoulders, keeping it nice and level at the hips. Breathing strong through that right arm. And then from here, nice and lazy, back to our downward facing dog. See if you can draw that right leg in. Just a little bit to the middle of the mat. Turn the heel across the body, the toes externally rotated. See if we can push onto that right leg to roll up through the spine. And then from here, just bring it down towards the floor, nice and easy. And just see if you can find a little time to just surrender down. So we're going to see, maybe just allow the body to roll down. If it's comfortable with the toes dropping out to the side, the palm of the hands facing up to the sky. So having taken the last 55 minutes just working through the body, see if you can take a moment to surrender into the floor. Surrender to gravity. Just notice the breath, how it is right now. Hopefully your practice allows you to feel strong and open. Allowing us to be strong and open in our body, allowing us to be sensitive, to be strong for those around us who need us. Just give your awareness to loved ones, to healing. And with a few deep breaths, just feel the sensations of those deep breaths, maybe in the nose, maybe in the belly, maybe in the ribs and the back. And then to bring the hands back into movement, just maybe wriggling the fingers, the toes, wriggling the toes. And finding an easy way back into the room, into the space. Maybe you want to hug the knees, or maybe you want to stretch out the arms and the legs. There's no right and wrong way. It'd be nice to roll over to the side or to swing yourself back up to sitting whenever you want. Thank you for coming out this morning. Hope you enjoyed the Twistease. Hope it felt good in your body.